Okay. Hello everybody. It's a beautiful morning this morning. Timmy's gone for a drink, I think. Where's he gone? I'm not sure. I am sure what we're going to talk about today. I'm going to talk again a little bit about flow. Remember we talked about flow a while ago. Have you broken the ice, darling? Yeah. Good. Well done. I'm going to break the ice on the big pond in a little while. But I want to talk about it in terms of vibration. Now, people who talk about connection a lot sort of talk about vibration quite easily, and sometimes it's difficult to understand what they mean. What do we mean by vibration? So if I explain it like this, it's the reason I'm talking about this is it's twofold, and I'm going to explain another word first, actually, synchronicity. And what that means, you'll see that in tarot and various other areas of energy work. It's the little coincidences that actually bring you to an understanding, but you only realise that they did after the effect. So part of the conversation I'm having today with you, or the monologue I'm having with myself, conversation I'm having with my horses, whichever way you want to look at it, is to do with a couple of things that happened yesterday. Yesterday, Timmy, who's drinking at the moment, Brizada, who's the white one just there, myself and my husband, we went out for a walk, and it was quite interesting because I haven't taken Brizada out for a while. She's we decided to go, and when I used to ride her many years ago, we would be following a neighbour, because she doesn't like to lead, and she would often graze and then trot to catch up, then graze and trot to catch up, and I just thought I didn't really change it. We were quite comfortable. She was happy doing that. She got a bit of grass and then she managed a little trot, which is always good for her. But I've never seen her do it when we walk out. Now, yesterday husband and Timmy were leading, and I'll just go the other side because the sun's going to be right in the camera. What was she doing, my darling? She started doing this while we were walking. She would graze and then trot, and then graze and then trot, and it was only this morning when I woke up and I thought, energy and vibration and flow came into my mind, that I realised that she was showing me in her own way, and has been for a long time, and I've only just realised it, so sorry. That she was showing me what human vibration can look like to her, or feel like. It feels like this sort of nice calm, have a little bit of a munch, and then straight away go up to trotting on without much calm in between. And that's a little bit like what we talk about in the trust technique, is thinking levels as well. Sometimes the animals can go from a nice calm 3 up to a 7 or 8 thinking level very quickly. And now what I don't know is also whether she was showing me what her reaction, her vibration is to things. Now, I've never seen her really. She does get upset when we take others out for a walk, and she can move a lot and talk a lot and squeal a lot and get quite mightily. We would call it a temper tantrum, I suppose. If something's happening that she's not happy about. But she's never really gone high in her reactions with me. Have you, babe? No. But obviously there's a vibration there that when we're walking out. So it's something for me to work with her. Something she's feeling. But I want to come back. There's also Michaela and I were talking last night. Well, messaging each other. And the term radio transmitter came up, which is how we feel sometimes when we have it's taking this connection and the learning that we get from our animals and our connection to the environment and everything, the vibration we feel, I suppose, and transmitting that out to others. Communicating what connection is about. And connection is about the waves, the vibrations that you feel. And it's like, so if you're having a conversation with somebody, am I beautiful? Relaxing there? Yeah. So if you, and this is something I learned because I've worked a lot with people from different countries, and we all verbally speak different languages. But you can actually, if you've spoken to somebody in a different language, or you live in a country where language is not your first language, you can sense straight away when somebody is cross with you, annoyed with you. You don't have to hear the words for that. You can see it in behavior and you can feel it. And that is a vibration. And you'll have a reaction to that. And your vibration will be the reaction. Reaction will give out a vibration. So if you fear their anger, you will give out the vibration of fear. And that, in turn, will raise the anger vibration from the other person. And so on. And that spirals. If you can take a step back and come into yourself and breathe and ground yourself and use the vibration of love that you receive from everything around you, your vibration to the anger, towards the person with the anger, will change. It'll soften. And by doing that, it softens their reaction to you as well. So if you're having an argument with your partner, and instead of engaging with that and allowing it to spiral, you can step back and say, I love you. You don't even have to say it out loud. Just say, I love you, in your body. And the vibration that goes out will soften the argument. It's not easy to do in the height of emotion. And I think what Risado was trying to tell me was that maybe I need to balance my feelings more. Or maybe we haven't. Maybe when I was riding her, she was trying to tell me to balance my emotions more, to stop going up and down like a yo-yo, which I used to do, and therefore my vibrations would go up and down like a yo-yo. And she was showing me that when I was riding her, that I was out of balance. I'm loving that Karida is really listening to this conversation and engaging with it, and just trying to sense she's so relaxed. She's relaxed, but she's not relaxed in her body yet, but she wants to relax. And that's interesting. So that's also showing me that, the vibration she's giving me, what she's showing me, and the vibration she's giving out is, I really want to relax, but I'm waiting for my body to catch up with that sense. I don't know. I mean, I'm rambling a little bit there. I just say what I see and say what I feel, and that is what these monologues are about. It's about exploring. These are not to teach, and yet they are. I can't tell you what you need to do to change your vibration. Only you can do that. In the same way, only I can change my vibration. My vibration has changed a lot over the years. I'm a lot more connected to the ground. I love being outside in the environment. The horses are a lot calmer around me because I understand more of what they're telling me. And that is the flow. And I know others that are starting to really come into their awareness as well through talking out loud to their animals, and even having a go at communication where they imagine their animal in their head and their feelings, how they feel, how they are, how they look, and then ask them questions and try and sense the answer. In a way, there's no such thing as coincidence. There's only learning. Something happens and you either learn from it or you ignore it, and it'll happen again at some point in your life, and you'll go, oh, and you'll keep going around that circle until you actually learn from it. There's a little bird down there. Let's steal some hay. Yeah, there's a robin. Yeah, there's a robin. A young one. Hey. So I always like to just ground myself again before I start talking again, because sometimes I know I ramble, and sometimes sentences might not make sense initially, but they'll explain themselves later. Because this is all impromptu. I am not talking to a script. I'm just listening to what the environment's telling me and sharing that. And I don't know really well, I suppose I do understand the purpose of what this is. Why I've been chosen to do it, I don't know. I've never been a big talker. Maybe that's why it's time for me to talk. It all feels a lot to do with what this herd are telling me. Seek the truth. Connect. And show people how to do that in a simple way without, I'm not a scientist. I'm just your average human being trying to, in the old days it would have been called finding yourself. So I'm finding myself. I invite people to find themselves with me. What I'm not doing, and this is where a lot of what I'm doing now is about defining more of what my purpose is. When I did the trust technique practitioner qualification, that helped me a huge amount to have the confidence to teach people how to find their presence, their present moment. And it's a great way of starting your journey if you're not sure how to be present. It's a wonderful structure. But I live very remotely, so my purpose is not to go out to loads and loads of clients and teach the trust technique. It's a technique that I've learned and I'm qualified to use to teach. Plus I live in a foreign country, so the secondary element of that is that if I teach person to person, I can only speak in English. I only use English. I do have some German clients, and one of them speaks pretty good English, and we get through things, and they've learned a lot. They have a lot of donkeys, and they're amazing donkeys at teaching. So, and what I found, because my herd we are used to each other, we have a connection, a very deep connection. I have a deep connection, all 5 of them. They all have a purpose. And they all want to help. And this came up a little while ago, and I was like, well, how can we help? And I'm hoping this is how we can help. This is our purpose, is to put a vibration out there that shows you that anything is possible. You can do this. It's very simple. It's not complicated. You don't have to be a guru to be connected. It's more difficult for people who live in built-up areas that have jobs to go to every day, that have large families. There's a lot of noise, a lot of, you've only got to watch the TV to see the amount of fear that is bombarded out of the television, which we absorb. And it's sometimes very difficult to find our way through to peace. There is wars going on at the moment for one reason or another, which is a reaction to peace. Those who can't find peace create war because they fear it. They're frightened of peace. And the reason they're frightened of peace is because they have a fear of having things taken away. So if it's a war of territory, the instigators will have had a fear of losing power through losing territory. Religious wars are based on a fear of, well, I'm not sure because I've never been religious. I don't really understand religion. It's control. It's a way of controlling large amounts of people, and so it comes back to maybe a fear of losing control or losing the power that control gives you. Again, it's maybe about power. I don't know. But you can I've not really considered it hugely. You can usually find the fear that goes with reactions to things sometimes. Another friend was telling me about some rules that are coming out or have come out in Canada, various areas of Canada, that cats are not allowed to roam. And for us that have cats and they've been able to roam forever, that seems like so impossible. I mean, you can't take a cat out on a lead, can you? Now why has that come into play? Are people frightened of cats? Or do cats disrupt their comfort? And that can happen. Cats can disrupt your comfort. They quite happily walk into a garden and trash it. Because the garden is not a natural environment when it's manicured. They have, you see, what is not being considered in these rules is the consequences. So what's going to happen by confining cats? What's going to happen to the mouse and rat and vole populations? And then that will create another fear, another reason to try and control things, where the environment can actually control everything very well all on its own, if we just allow nature to do what nature does. Balance. So every time these things happen, it tips the balance. It tips the balance out of balance. It puts the world out of balance. It puts the environment out of balance. And then nature and everything, the environment, has to adapt. And sometimes the way it adapts is not the way us humans would like it. But then what we've created, we need to fix. So our vibration needs to slow down. It needs to slow down. It needs to stop going up and down like a yo-yo, as Rizada showed me yesterday. And it needs to be a constant, consistent vibration or rhythm of peace. And love. So every time you have an emotion that comes up, of fear, of anger, you're sending out a vibration which is then absorbed by everything around you. And that affects your environment. And why do we send those vibrations out? Because they're a reaction to something that may have come into our environment. That puts our environment out of balance, and we react to that. But we could actually respond to it by accepting it into our environment, learning from it, and then allowing it to dissipate by taking on the learning. Is that right? Oh, thank you. We're letting that go. It's so wet, isn't it? That's probably it for today. I think Rosalis has told me you said enough. Okay, thank you for listening.